Hey everyone, welcome to Reality TV News Update, the place where we bring you the latest updates, fun moments, and behind-the-scenes stories you won't want to miss. After 7 intense weeks inside the Big Brother 27 house, Katherine Woodman's journey came to an emotional end in one of the most shocking evictions of the season. Known for her calm composure, sharp instincts, and deep social bonds, Katherine's eviction left both house guests and fans stunned, especially given how she'd managed to navigate multiple alliances and survive weeks of chaos and blindsides. Now that she's out of the game, Katherine is opening up about what really happened behind the scenes, who betrayed her trust, the strategic decisions she regrets, and what she's planning next after her memorable stint on reality TV's most unpredictable stage. A quiet force in the chaos. When Katherine entered the Big Brother house, she wasn't seen as a frontrunner. In fact, early on, she was labeled as too quiet by some of her more outspoken housemates. But as the weeks unfolded, she quickly became a central figure in the evolving power structure, forming key relationships with Ashley, Vince, and Rachel, while managing to stay off the block for the first half of the season. "I came into the house wanting to play a social game first," Katherine told Reality Beat in her post-eviction interview. "I knew I wasn't going to outmuscle or outshout anyone, so I wanted to outlisten them. And for a while, it worked." It did. Katherine's ability to build trust and adapt to shifting alliances allowed her to survive several weeks where her allies and sometimes even her enemies were targeted instead. But week 7 changed everything. The turning point came when Riley, who had been quietly campaigning against Katherine for weeks, finally gained traction. A subtle comment here, a private whisper there. Before long, the house had convinced itself that Katherine was a social threat who could win against anyone in the end. "People were starting to say I was playing too perfect of a social game," Katherine said, shaking her head. "That was wild to me, because I wasn't manipulating anyone. I was just being honest. But in that house, honesty can get you in trouble." Her downfall began when Ashley, the then HOH, nominated Katherine as a pawn against Keanu, a move that was supposed to be harmless. But as often happens in Big Brother, the plan changed. Midweek, the votes began to shift. Riley and Ava pushed a new narrative that Katherine was secretly working both sides of the house. By eviction night, the tide had turned completely. Katherine was evicted in a 5-3 vote, blindsided by some of the very people she thought were her allies. "I didn't even cry right away," she admitted. "I was too stunned. I remember looking at Ashley and thinking, 'You knew.' That's when it hit me that I'd been betrayed." The betrayal that stung most. When asked who betrayed her the most, Katherine didn't hesitate. She said, "Vince," she said softly. "He was like my brother in there. We had each other's backs from the start, and I truly thought we'd go to the end together. So when I found out he flipped his vote, that one really hurt." Vince's decision to vote Katherine out was one of the biggest shocks of the season. The two had shared countless strategy talks, meals, and emotional moments. Fans even dubbed them cave-ins. But when push came to shove, Vince chose to side with the House majority to protect his own game. "I don't hold it against him now," she said, though her tone suggested she was still processing it. "It's Big Brother. Everyone's there to win. But I wish he had at least told me. If he just said, 'Kat, I can't save you this week,' I would have respected it." Behind the house drama, Riley's role. Riley's campaign against Katherine has become one of the most talked about storylines this season. They started as allies in the early weeks, often working together to vote as a unit. But after a tense argument during Week 5's Head of the Household competition, when Katherine called her out for twisting words, things were never the same. "I think Riley just didn't like that I called her out publicly. She's used to controlling the narrative, and I wasn't willing to play along anymore." By Week 7, their simmering rivalry had boiled over into a full-blown feud. On the live feeds, fans saw Riley repeatedly push conversations that painted Katherine as fake and dangerous. Viewers weren't happy, and many took to social media demanding production step in after Riley's heated confrontation with Katherine went too far. "I didn't feel unsafe," she clarified, "but it was definitely aggressive. There were moments where I thought, this isn't game anymore, this is personal. I tried to de-escalate, but you can only do so much." The strategy that might have saved her. Looking back, Katherine admits she made one key mistake that may have sealed her fate. relying too heavily on her social relationships instead of securing strategic power. "I didn't win enough competitions, plain and simple," she said. "I kept telling myself I'd turn it on when I needed to, but when the time came, I didn't pull through. If I'd won that veto, I'd still be there right now." Her focus on maintaining trust may have made her well-liked, but it also made her a target once the end game neared. When people start thinking about jury votes, that's when being nice becomes a liability, she said with a laugh. "It's funny. I spent weeks avoiding drama, and in the end, that's what got me sent home." Still, Katherine doesn't regret the way she played. "I'd rather lose being authentic than win by being fake," she said firmly. What fans didn't see. Every Big Brother season has its share of drama, but not all of it airs. Katherine revealed there were several behind-the-scenes moments that fans didn't get to see, including a near alliance that could have changed everything. "Before the week started, Rachel, Ashley, and I talked about forming a final three," she revealed. "We referred to ourselves as the calm crew because we were the only members who did not constantly yell at each other. But the minute I went on the block, that plan disappeared. It's a shame because I think we could have gone far together." She also mentioned that despite being frequently depicted as distant, her relationship with Keanu was actually much closer than fans thought. "Keanu's a great guy. He's misunderstood because he's a little intense, but he always treated me with respect. That final day, he actually tried to run from me, but it was too late." The aftermath of Big Brother. Katherine claims that she is still adjusting to the sudden influx of attention now that she's back in the real world. She said, "I went from total isolation to having thousands of people DM me overnight. It's overwhelming, but also kind of amazing. I had no idea that so many people connected with me." She has indicated that she is open to future opportunities in reality television, and she has already been contacted for a number of interviews and fan podcasts. She teased, "I'd love to do The Challenge or The Traitors, something competitive in which I can show a different facet of myself. Big Brother was a mental and social competition, but I want to show that I can handle physical challenges as well." She is, however, focusing on de-stressing, spending time with her family, and catching up on all the shows she missed while inside the house for the time being. She acknowledged, "I still haven't seen how they edited everything. To see how they portrayed me, I am curious and a little scared." Thoughts on the guests still in the house. As for who she thinks will win Big Brother 27, Katherine didn't hesitate. She stated, "Ashley has the best shot. She's strategic, smart, and able to make people feel at ease even when she's manipulating them in a positive way. She seems to be playing one of the most balanced games there, in my opinion." In addition, she praised Rachel and referred to her as the heart of the house. Katherine stated that Rachel is one of those players who makes everyone feel safe, even when they shouldn't be. She could go all the way if she can make it past the next couple of weeks. As for Riley, Katherine took a moment to respond. She was careful when she said, "I respect her as a competitor, but I think her strategy is overly dependent on intimidation. In Big Brother, people remember how you made them feel, so that might work for a short time. Plus, jury votes are emotional." No regrets, just lessons. Katherine insists that she has no regrets about how she played the game, despite the pain of her eviction. "I gave it everything I had. I stayed true to myself, I built real friendships, and I made it 7 weeks in a house full of chaos. That is something to be happy about." She also hopes her journey inspires future Big Brother players, especially those who feel overshadowed by louder personalities. You don't have to scream to be heard. Sometimes the quiet game is the most powerful one. You may be underestimated by others, but that may be your greatest asset. Katherine plans to continue online interactions with fans and possibly launch a podcast that reviews reality shows from the point of view of a former contestant. She stated, "I think I have a unique point of view now. I've experienced the paranoia, pressure, alliances, and heartbreak of living under those cameras round the clock. I'll never forget that experience." Whether you loved her or underestimated her, there is no denying that Katherine Woodman left her mark on Big Brother 27. Her exit may have been heartbreaking, but it was also a testament to the danger of being both likable and strategic, a combination that rarely survives deep into the game. She smiled and said, "I didn't win the money, but I walked out with my dignity and a whole new fan base. In my opinion, that is a success." With that, Katherine Woodman leaves Big Brother and begins a new chapter in her life that, judging by her poise and honesty, will be just as compelling as the one she left behind.